It's amazing how many places around Tennessee you can go to get a barbecue fix, and we've sampled them from Memphis to Johnson City. But to stay in business, well, you got to have more than just great pork on a plate. Kid Wilshire went to a landmark diner in Lawrenceburg where they've had a secret for success for about 50 years.
When it was built back in 1968, Big John's Barbecue in Lawrenceburg was a one-of-a-kind family venture. Actually, it was Robert Morris, his wife, and his father who began a tradition that continues today with its new owner, Terry Nolan. She says Big John's was named for Robert's father, John.
All right, so you gonna leave it here?
No. Terry took over the operation in 2001. She was keenly aware of the Big John reputation in this Tennessee community and assumed responsibility graciously with lots of pride.
Big John's is Lawrenceburg's oldest or the longest running restaurant, so that's something that we're proud of, to keep the traditions going, and we still use the original recipes that they started using in 1968. So it's interesting, I've had so many comments through the years that I've been here. People sending me on Facebook messages, that's where I went on my first date when I was 16, and they move off and go to college and then they come back and they bring their friends. So definitely a landmark in the city. Everybody knows Big John's for sure.
Terry's also a wonderful cook, and while Big John's original recipes remain secretly untouched, she's added her own flavorful items to the menu. And that's always the old-fashioned way, with no shortcuts and lots of TLC.
We call it barbecue. It's pulled pork, as most people refer to it. It is hickory smoked over a hickory pit, no shortcuts. We still use hickory wood. My dad actually goes and cuts the wood, dries it out. After it's on the pit for 12 hours, put our special seasonings on it, our dry rubs. After that, we hand pull every bit of our pork.
Terry says their smoked fare also includes pulled chicken with its secret spices, traditional southern pork ribs, and a very popular and unique ham. Still, pulled pork is the headliner.
You know, I have a lot of people will say to me, oh, I've never had pulled pork like this. This is so good. So I think continuing the traditions of doing it, you know, it's the harder way to do it, obviously, but I think in the long term it results in much better quality pulled pork.
And dessert-wise, I mean, I saw the ice cream counter there.
Yes, we do have ice cream. We do Mayfield ice cream, and it is very good, but it is especially good over our homemade cobblers. We like to keep everything homemade as much as possible because, as you know, anything homemade is always much better.
And don't forget the homemade deep-fried pickles, pigtail fried potatoes, and loaded potato salad. Its cozy booths and rustic atmosphere are complemented by all sorts of antiques on the walls and shelves. These unique conversation pieces add to Big John's quaintness and reflect its humble beginnings.
I guess it kind of goes with the atmosphere though, you know, the rustic walls and all the tools and the different things that have been collected over the years. But I do have a lot of people that want to buy things. Are these things for sale? Particularly the gun that's on the rack over there. Everybody's very curious and interested in that. And the sad thing is I have people come in and they want to do trivia with me and ask me what this is and that is. And honestly, I probably know what a washboard is and that's about all.
When it opened, people said it would never make it as a drive-through barbecue place.
Would you like hot or mild sauce on that sandwich today?
Mild.
Especially when lots of traffic on the street out front was diverted to the main highway through town.
When this was built, this is actually the road that led to the square, which is where all the businesses and everything went on. It was on the square years ago. However, now, you know, the main road has been changed over.
Well, they sure seem to find it.
Yeah, we've been the same location, 1968.
There you go. You have a good day. Come back. Thank you.
And it seems people always remember a good, friendly place to eat. And they certainly keep coming to Big John's in droves, some even since they opened.
But we got married in high school, so we had a family in '74, and they all came here too. And the kids, our kids have always been barbecue eaters. They still are. So we come back to here, it's like a yo-yo. It just keeps coming back.
I think that people enjoy the personal attention that they get here. And I know when Robert was here, he always was in the dining room mingling. And so I just think that when you come to a place and people know that you know them, you recognize them, you're friendly to them, it makes them want to come back. And I say I'm not a good person to be on the front register because I know everybody and I can't talk and give money back at the same time. So it's not always a good idea to put me on the register. So I try to stay in the back so I can just say, hey, how are you? And I'm not having to deal money and try to talk at the same time.
There's certainly nothing fancy about Big John's. No linen tablecloths, china, silver, or glassware.
Best picnic, I think, is this kind of eating right here.
She likes it best because she doesn't have to wash any dishes. Plastic forks, styrofoam cups, we're good to go.
And it is like a big picnic every day. Without the ants and rain, our customers are greeted with big smiles when they gather like a big family.
We try to continue the traditions that the Morris family have started, and I hope that we've done so.
Customers certainly do continue to enjoy some good old Southern comfort food prepared the old-fashioned way and guaranteed to satisfy the biggest of appetites. This is all a really big deal at Big John's.